What was the advice that you got, and what did you do when it came to reaching out to supervisors or potential supervisors?
Yes. So I did reach out to potential supervisors. The advice that I got was, if you're going to do it, like, you don't want to be writing them a 2-page email that's going to take them forever to read because they're just not going to read it. They're getting a lot of emails. So if you're going to be reaching out, it should be short enough that they can skim it quickly and get an idea of who you are and what you're asking. Have enough detail at the same time, which is a bit of a dance, that they can decide when reading that if it's worth replying to, if you kind of fit with what they're kind of like and what they're interested in. But also to do it early. And I think that advice comes partially because it can be a long process. You might not hear back ever. You might not hear back for a couple of weeks, but then you might get an email, and then maybe they've asked you a question and you need to reply, and then you don't hear back for a couple of weeks. And if you're doing this with a couple of people, it can take several weeks or a month or two before you get your answer of, do you think you would fit as a supervisor? Could I list you as a supervisor? Would you be interested in working with me? So yeah, more time is better for that. That being said, when I applied to work with you, I didn't hear back from you. So I still got in. Take that with a grain of salt. It didn't matter in this case.
Sorry.
Don't put all your stock in it, I guess.
I apologize for not getting back to you.
No. I didn't take it personally. I didn't hear back from several people.
Yeah. So that's something and I've gotten better at it. I sort of have a canned response I send to most people now, just to reply. Mm-hmm. But if you do email people and you don't hear back, do not make meaning of that. So that's one thing. What I've learned over the years is that there's typically very little point in me having these conversations with applicants until I get their application. So there are the exceptions I make. So actually yesterday I met with a student who's in the class I'm teaching. And so that's kind of different because I already know that person. So it's like I feel a sense of responsibility, I guess, for somebody in a class I'm teaching to talk to them just about, just as I would for anybody in any class I'm teaching. If they're going to reach out, that I'm more likely to, I feel more responsibility than random person. But that also when I have, when you apply, you send a whole lot of information. And so once I have all that information, I can really dig through it and I can really understand applicants, or to an extent, which is much more helpful than if we just meet, with maybe a CV. It's like, I don't know what to do with that. So, in consistent with Amie, what she said, if you email a potential supervisor, keep it ridiculously short, very short. So when I get people who email me paragraphs, it's like, what are we doing? I can't, I'm not, no, there's no way. Of course, the worst is when I get an email and it's like the wrong name, because obviously they just copied and pasted.
Oh no.
Or you get those. Yeah. So keep it super short. But I also think and again, this is just my opinion, it's just not necessary. It's just it's not, by and large, it's not going to help you. There might be some faculty who like to touch base with folks before applications. There could be exceptions to this, like somebody who is just like a perfect fit, and it's just or something like that. Yeah. But otherwise, I think there is this, I think somehow it's become an expectation for students, or they have this expectation that I need to reach out to folks beforehand. And I just don't think that that's real. I just don't think it's real.